Remember those warm, sun-soaked days of childhood, where even the simplest moments felt magical. It was a time when the air smelled like fresh-cut grass and vinyl records, and afternoons were spent racing the sun until the streetlights came on. Growing up in the 1970s had its own special flavor, from the scratchy sound of chalk on blackboards to the roar of an open road in a station wagon. There's a gentle nostalgia in each memory, a blend of family, friends, and old-school fun that we can all tap into together. Let's take a trip down memory lane with 50 moments that defined our childhood in the 70s. Stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this nostalgic ride. Number 1. Chalkboard Classrooms. We remember the satisfying scratch of chalk on the blackboard, filling the air with that familiar dusty scent. There was nothing like raising your hand and writing on that big green slate, feeling the chalk crumble between your fingers. When the teacher ran the eraser across it, a cloud of white dust puffed up, and suddenly the board was an entire clean slate. Literally, before new lessons were drawn. Do you remember the pride of writing on the blackboard, wiping it clean, and hearing the applause from your classmates? Before the first bell even rang, though, the real excitement often started with the familiar rumble of the school bus pulling up. Number 2. School bus rides. Climbing aboard the old yellow school bus was its own adventure. We'd crowd onto bench seats, leaning out the open windows to catch a cool morning breeze. Who else remembers the excitement of starting the day trading jokes with your friends on that morning ride? Of course, once we were inside the classroom, we had another mission: keeping our secret conversations going without getting caught. Number 3. Passing handwritten notes in class. Before texting existed, passing secret notes was serious business. We'd scribble messages on flimsy yellow notebook paper or folded letter sheets, then sneak them to best friends or crushes right under the teacher's nose. Every little shake of the desk or flutter of paper sent tiny thrills through us, and the quiet giggles that followed were precious. The fear of getting caught only made it more exciting. Raise your hand if you secretly loved writing notes to your crush. By the time lunchtime rolled around, all that sneaking and whispering had worked up an appetite, and the cafeteria had its own brand of magic. Number 4. Lunchtime Jell-O and TV trays. School lunches were a whole experience. Jell-O molds wiggling on our trays, mystery meatloaf sometimes traded for extra tater tots, and milk in little carton boxes. We lined up at the cafeteria window, eager to sample whatever the lunch ladies served that day. Who else counts Jell-O as its own food group back then? After those colorful lunches, there was only one thing we were really waiting for: the recess bell. Number 5. Recess games. When the bell rang for recess, the entire schoolyard turned into a mini adventure park. We played tag until we were out of breath, hopped through hopscotch chalk on the cracked blacktop, or joined a wild game of kickball that spread playground legends. Every scraped knee or grass stain was a badge of honor by the end of the day. Who else spent all morning watching the clock, eager to get outside for those precious minutes of freedom? After a long day of running and laughing, nothing felt better than heading home and spinning a favorite record. Number 6. Vinyl records and record players. The records stacked in our home were like treasures full of memories. We'd flip 45 RPM singles or gently drop the needle on a favorite LP, listening to the Beatles or Motown fill the living room. What was the first record you ever played? Of course, sometimes the music didn't come from vinyl. It came crackling in from a tiny portable radio tucked into a pocket. Number 7. AM radio hits and transistor radios. We didn't have streaming. We had AM radio crackling through the static. Everyone learned to adjust those old rabbit ear antennas, or a Transistor radio's telescoping stick, trying to catch the top 40 countdown, or a distant rock station from miles away. Portable Transistor radios fit right in your jean pocket, so you could sneak off with your favorite tunes or school broadcast anywhere. If the sound of static turning into music under the covers brings back a smile, don't forget to subscribe and join us for even more memories like these. Saturday mornings took that same excitement and dialed it up to full blast. All thanks to cartoons. Number 8. Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday mornings meant one thing: cartoons. We'd crawl out of bed still in pajamas, pour a big bowl of sugary cereal, and settle in front of the TV for Scooby-Doo, Looney Tunes, or the latest Hanna-Barbera adventure. Those theme songs and zany animations are etched in our memories forever. When the cartoons wrapped up, the weekend still had plenty of adventure left, often starting with the soundtrack playing from the family car. Number 9. 8-track tapes in the car. Riding in our family station wagon with the giant 8-track player in the dash was pure 70s cool. We fought over who got to choose the next tape as we cruised around town, then predictably screamed when a song got cut off mid-verse by the player's track switch clicking over. To rewind it, we either poked a pencil through the tape's little hole or banged it gently until it reset itself. Who else still remembers that satisfying click as the music suddenly changed tracks? With the music playing, it was time to hit the open road. Windows down, spirits high, and no GPS required. Number 10. Family road trips and station wagons. A summer road trip meant piling into the big station wagon. No seatbelts in the back, just blankets and siblings crammed together. We'd sing along to the radio or play silly car games, winding down back roads and highways with the windows down. Every gas station stop was an adventure too, with goofy souvenirs from roadside stands and pink gumballs from the corner store. Long drives and roadside adventures filled our days. But when night came, it was time to slow down, grab a notebook, and pour all those memories onto the page. Number 11. Personal journals and diaries. We all had a notebook, sometimes with a lock, where we'd spill our hearts and doodle in the evenings. Scribbling notes about our crushes, dreams, or the day's playground drama felt so important under the dim light of a desk lamp. Closing it and hiding it away felt like tucking away little pieces of our young selves. Tell me someone else used a pencil with scented erasers in their diary. After we tucked those secret thoughts away, the backyard was cooling, and there was no way we were missing a second of daylight. Number 12. Playing outside until dusk. We played in the street and raced bikes until the streetlights flickered on and the mosquitoes chased us in. We always begged for 5 more minutes of sunlight when Mom called us home. Who else stretched playground time as long as possible? Once we finally dragged ourselves inside, a different kind of adventure waited in every toy box. Number 13. Barbie dolls and action figures. Our toy boxes were packed with action and imagination. Girls would spend hours changing Barbie's outfits or teasing her hair into a ponytail, while boys arranged heroic skirmishes between G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtle, or Star Wars figures on the carpet battlefield. Each toy had a life of its own in our playtime adventures, from tea parties to rescues on the living room floor. Who else remembers stepping on a Lego brick in bare feet? Ouch! When it came time for family bonding, though, nothing brought everyone together quite like a board game battle. Number 14. Board games and family game night. After dinner, we gathered around the living room for board games like Monopoly, Operation, or Life. Even siblings teamed up for Twister or Trouble, laughing over goofy rule debates and sneaky trades. That was quality family time before video games. Nothing beat the sound of dice rolling and victory cheers. When the final piece was packed away, It was time to chill out in the ultimate 70s kid comfort zone. Number 15. Beanbag chairs and lava lamps. If your bedroom didn't have a beanbag chair in a funky color, did you even grow up in the 70s? Those big, soft beanbags and the mesmerizing lava lamp on the shelf set the vibe for late-night whispers or reading comics under a flashlight. It felt like having a personal lava lamp disco corner in the room. The gentle glow and the squishy chair made every hour a cozy hangout time. It usually meant someone had already grabbed a walkie-talkie and slipped outside for a new mission. Number 16. Walkie-Talkies and neighborhood adventures. Those bulky walkie-talkies with big antennas let us feel like secret agents on kid-scale adventures. We'd broadcast funny messages or coordinate games over static-filled channels, exploring the neighborhood on scavenger hunts or football scrimmages. Even when the signal faded, just hearing a friend's voice through the static was thrilling. After a long day of secret ops, though, nothing beat a quick trip to the corner store to refuel. Number 17. Penny candy at the corner store. We loved having a few cents to spend on penny candy at the corner store. That glass display case was a treasure trove of tiny delights. We'd pore over our coins, deciding between gummy bears or pixie sticks, and then savor every sugary stick of gum on the way home. Who else remembers carefully counting out pennies and dimes to get just the right mix of treats? A pocketful of candy in hand, the best nights ended under the stars, at the drive-in. Number 18. Summer drive-in movies. Hot summer nights were made for the drive-in. We'd pile into the car with popcorn and soda, listening to cartoons and double features on the big outdoor screen. With the headlights off, we watched for shooting stars through the windshield while the movie played, sharing candy and blanket cuddles under the moonlight. Those sticky seat cushions are unforgettable, literally. Morning always came too soon, but it meant the start of another classic ritual, waiting for that familiar yellow bus. Number 19. Waiting for the school bus. Remember standing at the curb with your lunchbox and backpack, trading jokes with neighbors as you waited for the big yellow bus? The morning air had that crisp edge as we scanned for the first flash of yellow paint, hoping we weren't running late. We'd all squeeze onto the bus together, finding seats with friends and starting the day's adventures before even hitting the school parking lot. But weekends, those were reserved for something way more exciting than homework. Number 20. Roller skating at the roller rink. A favorite weekend treat was heading out to the local roller rink under rainbow disco lights. We'd lace up those quad roller skates and circle the wooden floor to funky tunes like Stayin' Alive blasting overhead. Wobbly at first, we'd eventually skate arm in arm with friends, whooping as the DJ lowered the lights for a slow song. Those were the nights that made you wish the weekend could last forever. Pure magic, captured on 4 wheels. Those nights on the rink made us feel like stars, but back at home, there was a different kind of magic waiting. The kind that flickered from a VHS tape and filled the living room with adventure. Number 21. Family VHS or beta movie nights. At home, movie night meant the whole family gathering around our big clunky TV with popcorn. We'd load an old VHS tape into the VCR and fiddle with the tracking, building a cozy pillow fort in front of the screen. Cartoons and Disney classics played without pause, and for those few hours, we escaped to another world together. Once the movie ended and the pillows were flattened, real-world adventures were just a step out the front door. Number 22. Helicopter parents? We didn't have them. In the 70s, we roamed free. No cell phones, no GPS, and our parents trusted us to be back by dinner on our own. We discovered adventure in our own neighborhoods, from poking around empty lots to hopping fences. Knowing a dog-eared baseball card was reward enough for a fun day. We always made it home by curfew, usually wet, dirty, and smiling like crazy. Sometimes, though, the most exciting journeys weren't across town. They were scribbled out by hand and sealed with a stamp. Number 23. Newspapers and homemade pen pal letters. Remember writing letters or pen pal notes on lined notebook paper while watching TV? We'd decorate envelopes with stickers and stamps, and then wait days or weeks for someone to write back. Each reply felt like a gift, with every detail, even a cool postage stamp or a pressed flower, made it special. Raise your hand if you ever made up silly secret pen pal codes or saved those handwritten letters forever. Of course, the best way to pass the time while waiting for a letter. Settling into the familiar comfort of our favorite after-school shows. Number 24. Kids' TV shows. After school, we'd plop down for beloved shows like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, The Electric Company, or Schoolhouse Rock. Those colorful characters and catchy songs taught us everything from sharing to grammar to math. Fred Rogers' gentle wisdom and fun cartoon sketches felt like lessons from friends, not schoolwork. Meanwhile, delicious smells were already filling the house, hinting that it was almost time for dinner. Number 25. Mom cooking from scratch. Dinner time usually meant Mom was in the kitchen, apron on, making comfort food from scratch. Think meatloaf with ketchup on top, creamy mashed potatoes, homemade soup simmering on the stove, and maybe a wiggly Jell-O salad on the side. There was no takeout on speed dial, just bubbling casseroles and farm-fresh veggies from the garden. Tell me one snow from your mom's kitchen that instantly takes you back home. If these memories are making you hungry for more, give this video a like and hit subscribe. There's still plenty of nostalgia coming your way. And speaking of sweet rewards, nothing lit up a kid's lunchbox quite like pulling out a Twinkie. Number 26. Zingers and Twinkies. We delighted in classic snacks like Hostess Twinkies, Zingers, or Ding Dongs. They were often tucked into our lunchboxes and devoured with milk at lunch, the cream filling or tiny frosting making everything feel like a party. Who else hid Twinkies in their desk at school as a secret treasure? Fueled by sugar and imagination, we headed outside where backyards became kingdoms in the sky. Number 27. Climbing trees and building forts. Backyards and empty lots became kingdoms under our feet. We'd climb every tree we could reach, strapping together planks or blankets to make secret forts in the branches. Up there among the leaves, we felt on top of the world, sharing cookies or pretzels from our secret stash. Those tree forts were our castles, complete with rope swings and whispered plans far above the ground. Of course, when the weather turned, we didn't head indoors. We made the most of it. Number 28. Puddles and rainy day adventures. A rainy day never meant boredom. It meant puddle jumping time. We'd tug on rain boots or old sneakers and splash through every puddle, laughing as mud and water soaked our clothes. Even light drizzles became a special adventure when you were determined to conquer each little flood on the sidewalk. Who else loved the fresh, earthy smell of rain and mud on the playground? Once we dried off and peeled off those soaked socks, simple indoor games kept the fun going strong. Number 29. Playing with marbles and jacks. Some of the best games had no batteries. We'd hunker on the sidewalk to shoot marbles into a chalk circle, or sit cross-legged indoors, bouncing a rubber ball and scooping up metal jacks. The satisfying clink of a marble, or the clatter of jacks on the floor was all we needed. It was simple fun that relied on skill and a little luck, often played with siblings during a lazy afternoon. And if you really wanted to freeze those perfect little moments forever, all you needed was a Polaroid. Number 30. Instant family photos. Before digital, we had Kodak cameras and Polaroids for instant pictures. After each snapshot, we'd shake or watch that photo slowly develop in our hands and giggle until our faces appeared on the film. Every print felt like treasure. even if a fingerprint or two got on the photo corners. Those instant snapshots didn't just capture faces. They captured a whole era of wonder, adventure, and joy that still lives on in our memories. Number 31. No seatbelts in the back seat. We jammed into cars, pile-in style, without a second thought. The middle row was bench seating for 3 or more of us, and we'd lean in together, or even lay across seats for better views. It felt totally normal to race with the wind while standing on the tailgate or stretching our arms out of the windows. I know. Not safe by today's standards, but that's just how we rolled. Riding like that felt like pure freedom, and for many of us, the only thing better was the next stop, the arcade. Number 32. Arcade games at the mall. Before home video game consoles, the arcade was king. We'd spend dimes and quarters on Pong, Space Invaders, Pac-Man or pinball machines at the local mall, peering through neon lights for the high score. We loved those corner stores that let us trade bottle caps or candy wrappers for extra game tokens. Nothing beats the rush of seeing your name flash across the high score board, unless it was coming home to a living room filled with your favorite shows. Number 33. Family TV classics. Our evenings were powered by classic shows. We'd gather around the TV to watch the Brady family laugh at dinner or learn letters from Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street. Every show was an event, laughing at jokes, singing theme songs, and just feeling the warmth of family time in the living room. Which classic TV theme song is still stuck in your head? And if you wanted to really spark a lively debate afterward, all you had to do was ask the room, Pepsi or Coke? Number 34. Pepsi versus Coke Showdown. Everyone took sides on their favorite soda. Whether it was Pepsi, Coke, or even Tab at the lunchroom drink fountain, we argued over which fizz tasted better. We prized glass bottles from the cooler, taking extra sips to show we absolutely won that soda battle. Which soda flavor brings back the most nostalgia for you? And right next to the fridge full of soda, you'd usually find something even more important: the family bulletin board. Number 35. Home bulletin boards and chore charts. The kitchen fridge was our family scoreboard. We had colorful chore charts or allowance schedules taped up, proudly marking who mopped floors or took out the trash. There was real pride in getting a gold star or blue sticker on your chart at the end of the week. Raise your hand if you ever drew a smiley face next to your name once all chores were done. Of course, outside the house, there was a different kind of scoreboard, and you could hear it loud and clear over the airwaves. Number 36. CB radios and the Convoy craze. By the mid-70s, some families even installed CB radios in their cars. We'd flip them on to hear truckers joking with each other, using lingo like 10 to 4 and breaker 1 to 9. There was something magical about being part of that open road chatter. Bonus points if you remember the Convoy song by heart. And if you weren't shouting 10 to 4 good buddy into a radio, you were probably just rolling the windows down and embracing the summer heat the old-fashioned way. Number 37. Riding in the car without air conditioning. Summer car rides were sweaty adventures. Dad's old car had no air conditioning. We'd roll the windows down, let the breeze whip our hair, and sip sweet iced tea to try and cool off. By the time we got home, our hands were sticky from melting ice cubes and warm soda, but that's just how we beat the heat. Who else remembers rolling down a window with the hand crank and feeling that first cool rush of air? When we finally made it home, it was time to relive every sunny moment, one glossy photo at a time. Number 38. Photos in albums. Getting film developed was an event in itself. We'd spread the glossy prints across the table and slide them into plastic sleeves in our family album. Each photo showed our 70s style, Big hair, bell-bottoms, and bright smiles, and flipping through those pages was like opening a time capsule at the dinner table. Every snapshot captured more than just a face. It captured the feeling of a whole summer, a whole year, a whole childhood. Sometimes, all it took was a single scent to bring every memory rushing back. Number 39. The smell of vinyl, leather, and fresh grass. Certain smells will forever be tied to our childhood. Remember the new book scent of vinyl record sleeves, the leather of a newly polished car seat, or the fresh grass after mowing the lawn. One whiff of those, and we're back under the sun, barefoot and carefree. What scent takes you right back to a 70s summer day? And speaking of simple joys, some of the best ones fit right in the palm of your hand. Number 40. Hula hoops and Slinkies. Some toys defined childhood. We'd spin colorful plastic hula hoops around our waists until we got dizzy, and let those metal Slinkies walk themselves down the stairs with a hypnotic clatter. They needed no batteries, just a little muscle and giggles. Simple, silly, and totally unforgettable. Just like so many of the memories that made growing up in the 70s feel like pure magic. Still feeling the magic of growing up in the 70s? Tap that subscribe button and let's keep the good times rolling. Nothing captured that sense of freedom more than hopping on a bike with a banana seat and streamers flying in the wind. Number 41. Bicycles with banana seats. Everyone pedaled around on bikes with those long banana seats and colorful streamers flowing from the handles. We'd fill up the bike's metal rack with our Nextape speaker and ride to each other's houses, feeling the hot sun and wind on our faces. There was total freedom in coasting down the sidewalk with a water bottle hanging from the frame, knowing nothing could stop our next adventure. And if you could pop a wheelie or cruise no hands for a few seconds, you were basically a legend on your block. When we weren't racing down the streets, we were causing just a little mischief in a much sneakier way. Number 42. Telling crank calls on a rotary phone. We dialed friends' numbers the old-fashioned way, spinning a rotary dial one click at a time. There were no voicemails, just the click, click, click of dialing and hoping someone would actually answer. Our best bet, shouting, "Hello," into the receiver, or farming out calls to the family phone if there was a party line. Who else remembers the jam of accidentally dialing the wrong number and hearing laughter on the other end? It wasn't high-tech, but it sure was high comedy. And half the fun was trying not to laugh out loud before the other person caught on. When it was time to quiet down and escape into new worlds, nothing beat the thrill of a good book. Number 43. Reading Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys. Before the internet, our adventures were on the page. We'd curl up with Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, or Goosebumps books. Okay, maybe Goosebumps was later. Devouring each mystery until dawn. Each page felt thrilling. Real or imaginary, we believed the old clock tower in our town could hide secret tunnels just like in the story. It didn't matter if we were in bed with a flashlight or stretched out in the grass. A good mystery made the whole world feel like a treasure map waiting to be explored. But sometimes, the best adventures weren't found in a book. They were spinning under a mirror ball on wheels. Number 44. Disco roller nights. By the late 70s, some roller rinks went disco. We'd lace up our quad skates, maybe put on some sparkly clothes, and groove under the mirror ball to Bee Gees and ABBA. Roller skating to disco music felt like living in a 70s movie, and everyone skated a little higher when Stayin' Alive came on. The flashing lights, the booming music, the smell of soft pretzels in the snack bar. It all blurred into one unforgettable swirl of motion and music. And once you got home, it was time to wrestle with something almost as challenging as skating backwards. Getting a clear picture on the TV. Number 45. Vintage TV antennas, rabbit ears. We didn't have cable or remotes, just rabbit ear antennas on top of the TV. Getting a clear picture was a sport, twisting and stretching those little metal rods until the fuzz disappeared and cartoons came into full color. We even went so far as to cover the antenna with foil or cardboard to fine-tune it. Finally seeing your favorite cartoon or Saturday night movie, sharp and colorful after a few wiggles and a lot of patience, felt like a victory worth celebrating. And after a long day of cartoons, chores, and sunshine, there was no better way to end it than with a classic summer hustle. Number 46. Lemonade and Kool-Aid stands. We all tried our hand at entrepreneurship with a classic lemonade or Kool-Aid stand. Armed with lemonade powder or fresh lemons, we'd sling icy drinks for $1/4 a cup on a hot day. Earning our first handful of coins felt incredible, even though most of the change went right back into more Kool-Aid mix for round 2. Sticky fingers, sunburned noses, and big smiles. Somehow, it all added up to the best kind of summer riches. And once the lemonade stand closed for the day, it was showtime. We'd crank up the vinyl, grab a broomstick microphone, and turn the living room into a full-blown family concert. Number 47. Siblings singing to vinyl. We loved blasting vinyl records at home and turning chores into concerts. The whole family would sing, often off-key, along to songs by Carpenters, Fleetwood Mac, or the Bee Gees while dusting or washing dishes. Those spontaneous sing-alongs, laughing when everyone knew the words the wrong way, made ordinary nights magical. Even the dogs probably wondered what all the racket was about. But for us, those silly home concerts were pure joy. And when we weren't making noise inside, we were busy building something incredible outside. Number 48. Building treehouse forts. We even took those tree forts to the next level by building real treehouse hideouts. Using old wood planks, nails, and paint, we'd carry up hammers, carefully, to construct a tiny house between the branches. Peering out from that homemade lookout was pure magic, our very own secret fort above the backyard. Every creaky board and wobbly ladder felt like part of the adventure, and even if it leaned a little to one side, we were proud architects of our own little kingdoms. Of course, when it came time to come down and get cleaned up, you had to look the part, and nothing screamed 70s kid louder than the fashion we rocked back then. Number 49. Bell-bottoms and platform shoes, 1970s fashion. If you had bell-bottom jeans, you were styling. We rocked wide-legged pants, platform shoes, tie-dye shirts, and groovy patterns everywhere. Looking back, some outfits are hilarious. Flares on kids made quite the statement. But at the time, we felt oh so hip strutting around in paisley and polyester. The brighter and bolder the outfit, the cooler we felt. And no matter how funny those old photos look today, every piece of fringe, suede, and psychedelic print was worn with pride. What's the wildest outfit you remember wearing in elementary school? Tell us in the comments. We can't wait to hear about it. And speaking of places full of magic and imagination, there was one spot in every school that felt like a portal to another world. Number 50. Exploring the school library. The school library was a quiet treasure trove. We browsed card catalogs, checked out stacks of Nancy Drew or Encyclopedia Brown, and basked in the smell of old books. Those monthly library days, with stamped due dates and colorful book covers, felt like a mini magic show every time. There was a quiet kind of excitement flipping through those shelves, like you were unlocking secret worlds hidden behind worn covers and paper pockets, and walking out with a stack of new adventures tucked under your arm. That felt like pure magic. And there you have it, 50 little moments, big memories, and everyday adventures that made growing up in the 70s truly one of a kind. Maybe it was the smell of library books, the sound of your favorite song crackling through a transistor radio, or just the simple joy of playing outside until the streetlights came on. But somehow, it all felt a little more magical back then. If this trip down memory lane brought back even one smile, go ahead and subscribe. Because there are so many more memories to share on our channel. And before you go, Tell us in the comments, which one of these 50 memories hits you the hardest? We'd love to hear your favorite story. Thanks for watching. And until next time, keep those 70s memories alive.